Hi, I'm Sean Patrick and I'm a spiritual teacher and writer, and my work is very much focused on the 20-something generation because that's where I sit. I'm 23 years old. And I'm grown up to become very proud and curious about my generation because I think we grew up through a very extraordinary time. A time in which self-help and spirituality became very mainstream, and a time in which we were taught, anything was possible. And even if we weren't taught that directly, there are examples everywhere we looked of someone who was doing something really great against the odds. And that really had us grow up a few things. One, we grew up really inspired. Two, we grew up really confident. And we grew up really ambitious. But we also grew up feeling quite insecure in our abilities and achievements. For as long as we were looking to the world for a sense of purpose based on what we've achieved, it was really easy, and it is really easy, to fail in comparison. We have our fellow 20-something peers starting little projects like Facebook, and we have a new YouTube sensation every day. It's almost like we can't keep up. No matter what we're doing to achieve in the world, it's almost like it's never enough, we can't keep up. And I want to share the story with you of how I realised that this conversation wasn't happening in my head alone. Now, I live in England, and over the past 2 years, I've had the fantastic chance to travel with my work. And I've got to go to New York and LA and Hong Kong. And everywhere I go, I always meet some fantastic people, and we always go for coffee. And what I've realized is every time we sit down with a cup of coffee, everyone I sit down with, whether it's in Hong Kong or New York or in England or LA, we're having the same conversation. It's all, how can I contribute to this world? What's that one thing I can do to set myself aside? How can I achieve? And what we're really asking is, how can I be of worth? What's that one project I can start that will then mean the world sees me as worthy? What is that one company I can set up that means, you want to know what? I'm aside from the rest and I've made it. But what if we were to base our worth on who we were, not what we'd achieved? And then everything that we achieved was just something that we could really enjoy, not something that we held accountable for our worth. Because my generation has become very spiritually savvy. We've all read the same books, we've all seen The Secret. We know that if we just visualize and we affirm, we can change our outside surroundings and we can bring stuff into our lives. But I believe we've matured into a stage now that says, I want to just have peace anyway. I want to feel happy anyway. I don't want to wait for the condition. I want to feel happy anyway. And that's what the 20-somethings are really yearning for right now. We're at a stage where we say, okay, I hired a life coach, I changed my diet, I'm tapping myself to sleep, and I'm in the vortex, but there's still something missing. And that something is really simply a feeling of acceptance. A feeling of it doesn't matter what's going on outside because I've got something really fantastic going on inside. So the book I'm proposing to you is called So I Found the Universe in Starbucks. And the book's 3 things. Firstly, it's a spiritual guide for the 20-somethings. Secondly, it's transcripts of conversations I've had in coffee houses all over the world, highlighting the concerns of my generation. And finally, it's a confession log of all the ways that I've tried to use self-improvement to make up for my lack of self-acceptance. And this book serves the older teens and the 20-somethings to really find peace with where they are and use their spirituality to enjoy. Now I want to leave you all with an exercise, and the exercise is to look at the word abundance. Now so often when I'm speaking about this word abundance, people start to say, it's the cars, it's the money, and all them things are fantastic, but I want to say that abundance has a much more broader meaning than that. And abundance is really anything in which you're plentiful in at any time. So there are so many people who say they can't be abundant because they don't have a job. Well, guess what? They're abundant in time. You could be abundant in your creativity. You could be abundant in your schedule. You could be abundant in your freedom. You could be abundant in your security. You could be abundant in money. But either way, it's impossible not to be abundant. It's impossible. So I want everybody to take 5 minutes today and really sit and list the ways, or just think the ways in which you are abundant right now. Claim that feeling of abundance now. Combine it with the spiritual knowledge that you already know, and allow your life to unfold in a much more peaceful way that is in coherence with the universe. And I want to finish with a quote. Nelson Mandela once said, "Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that generation." And I'm going to take him up on that. Thank you very much for watching.